Haley was on her way to Nathaniel's office. She just came out of her drama class to borrow a book from him. The drama class was going to perform a play called Snow White, and Haley was playing the part as an evil queen. She reached Nathaniel's office just as Nathaniel was doing some paperwork. "Nathaniel, can I borrow a book from here?" Haley asked, catching Nathaniel's attention. "Sure, Haley. What book are you looking for?" Nathaniel asked in response. "Snow White. My drama class is performing that story, and I left my book back in the drama class. Mind if I borrow it for a while?" Haley replied. "Sure, what part did you get?" Nathaniel asked another question, just as Haley grabbed the book and was almost out of the door. "I got the evil queen part," Haley said as she headed off to her bedroom. Just as Haley headed inside of the bedroom, Celeste and Lydia were both chatting and laughing about stuff. They were even gossiping, as normal friends like to do. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" Lydia and Celeste heard Haley from her bedroom, so they knocked on the door. Once they did that, Haley opened the door. "Oh, hey, Haley, Lydia and Celeste, what's up?" "We heard you practicing your lines for the Snow White play. I got the Snow White part," Celeste said. "I got to play one of the dwarfs," Lydia added. "Let me guess, you got the evil queen part." "Yep, I sure do. Boy, the evil queen is a witch as well," Haley replied. Then the girls headed off to the dinner hall. When they got to the dinner hall, Zach was there eating lunch. Lydia and Celeste joined Zach for lunch at the table, and they got into a conversation about the evil queen from Snow White being a witch. "The evil queen is a witch," Zach said, to start up a topic on witches. "I've always thought witches only existed in stories. Even if there were to be a real one, that would be creepy," Celeste replied. "I know where there's a witch that lives somewhere. Across the gorge into the dark forest," Zach said, boasting about where the witch lives. "The gorge sounds dangerous, Zach. Nathaniel says that there are poisonous snakes and spiders there, but there's also predators out there, so we've never been there," Lydia replied, unsure of the idea of following Zach to where the witch lives and he knows is a good idea. "I'm not sure about going there. It sounds dangerous," Celeste said in agreement. "Are you girls scared?" Zach asked to tease the girls. "Shut up," Lydia stated, throwing a banana peel at Zach. "We're not scared. We just think it's dangerous there." "If you both girls want to see the witch, I'll take you there," Zach smirked, trying to get his friends to go with him to see the witch. "All right, we'll go see the witch. But we must not say anything about this to anyone," Celeste said. Then she and Lydia followed Zach out of the school, and they headed through the forest to a nearby gorge with a bridge. "This bridge looks rotten," Lydia said, seeing how old the bridge was wooden and was. "We should be careful," Zach said, as Lydia was in the lead of the bridge. Soon Lydia followed her, then Zach behind his friends. As soon as they were across the gorge, they continued down the path of the witch's house. As the girls and Zach were walking down the forest path, they heard the sounds of snakes hissing off the path from where they were. "Poisonous snakes are nearby. Let's not go off the path," Celeste advised. "Right, one bite from them and we could get sick," Lydia nodded in agreement. "The forest is dark and spooky," Celeste commented it. "That's because they call it the Dark Forest," Zach replied, as they approached some bushes for them to crouch down to. As they were crouched down, they looked up to see an old and abandoned-looking house not far from where they were standing. "That house looks old and abandoned," Lydia said, looking at the house. "Only a witch would live there," Zach replied, answering for Lydia. "We'll go and see the witch from the windows, but then we're leaving this place," Celeste said, as she and her friends headed towards the house. As they approached the house, they looked through one of the windows to see a witch inside. As they peered in through a window, they could see a woman in her mid to late 40s inside. She was cooking something in her cauldron by the fireplace, with a black cat on her shoulder. Whoa, I never thought I'd be saying this, but this witch looks younger, Celeste said to Lydia. I think we should get out of here before she finds us trespassing, Lydia replied, as she and Celeste were heading down towards the front of the house. Zach kept peering through the window, just as the cat jumped towards the window, scaring Zach. He screamed as he bumped into Lydia and Celeste, knocking them to the ground. Zach, what the hell was that for? Celeste asked in an annoyed tone. I saw a black cat, and it scared me, Zach exclaimed. Then the door opened up to see a woman. What the lasting hell is going on here? The woman shouted in an angry tone. The witch! Zach screamed as he began to run away. Soon Celeste and Lydia followed Zach away from the abandoned house. As they were running through the forest, a snake managed to take a bite at Lydia's leg, causing her to cry out in pain. Celeste grabs the snake and manages to wrestle it off of her friends. Thankfully, though, Celeste wasn't bitten, but Lydia was not so lucky. Lydia, what happened? Zach asked. A snake bitten me, Lydia said, before passing out. She's been bitten by the snake. It was a European viper. They're common in Dragonvale. We have to get Lydia back to the school right away, Celeste stated, picking up her friend with the help of Zach. Back at the school, everyone had heard that Lydia was bitten by a poisonous snake in the darkest forest. Lydia was suffering from some symptoms of the viper bite, such as nausea, retching, and vomiting, abdominal, normal colic, and etc. My father had a talk with me about disobeying him, but he's going to punish Zach for being the one to lure me and Lydia there, Celeste said to Haley, as the girls were outside of Lydia's room. That European viper is a common poisonous snake here. There are antivenoms to treat it, Haley replied. Maybe that woman can help. I'm gonna go there and see if she can help, Celeste started as she got out her stuff. I'll stay here and keep an eye on Lydia. Just be careful, Celeste. Lydia's life is gonna depend on ya, Haley said. Then Celeste headed out of the school and into the forest. Celeste had crossed the bridge to the other side of the gorge. She headed for the path towards the abandoned house, where she was there earlier. Once she approached the door, she knocked on it, and the door opened itself as Celeste stepped inside. Hello? Anyone here? Celeste asked. Then the door suddenly slammed shut, and then she turned to see a woman. Here? Yes, I'm here. You were here today. You were trespassing on my property with your two friends, and even called me a witch. The woman snarled in anger. Look, I'm sorry for trespassing on your property. I didn't think anyone was home. Plus, one of my friends said that a witch lived here. I came here for help. My best friend is sick, and her life depends on me, Celeste replied, looking at the verge of a breakdown. You must be able to help me, but please save my friend. I can't bear to lose her. Celeste started to cry while in a breakdown. Your friend is sick? What's wrong with her? The woman asked. She was bitten by a snake, Celeste replied. What kind of a snake was it? The woman said, questioning Celeste. A European viper, Celeste answered. The woman grabbed her healing stuff in a bag. Then she and Celeste both headed out of the door. Just as they both ran out of the house, they headed down the path back to Dragonvale. They soon saw a European viper, the same one that bit Lydia earlier. That's the snake that bit your friend? The woman asked. Yes, it is. I dealt with it to let go of her earlier, Celeste answered, then held a magic spear. She aimed it at the viper. Just as it was about to strike a bite at Celeste, the spear impaled the viper, killing the poisonous snake instantly. Impressed by Celeste's magic weapons, Celeste tossed the viper's dead body into the forest, off of the path. By the time Celeste and the woman arrived back at the school, Nathaniel and Haley were surprised to see the two. Celeste, you're back. Haley told me that you were going to get help. I hope you're okay, Nathaniel said. I came back with help. Is Lydia okay? Celeste asked. She's still having symptoms of that venomous snake bite. The nurses are doing what they can, Nathaniel replied. I don't want to lose her. I'm scared of losing Lydia, Celeste stated, breaking down into tears. My daughter and her best friend, they've known each other since they were kids, Nathaniel told the woman, who led her to Lydia's room. Celeste and Haley followed them. When they approached Lydia, she was still lying in her bed. How long has she been out? The woman asked. Ever since she was back there, she passed out as soon as after being bitten, Nathaniel answered. She was bitten by a European viper, the most common poisonous snake in Europe. I was bitten by one at her age. I was saved by people when it happened. The woman set her own stuff down as she began to make the potion with some herbs and other healing stuff. These roots and herbs will help heal the poison bites from snakes and spiders. The woman began to mix certain things. Celeste was worried that the potion may not work, but deep down in her gut, it told her that Lydia will survive. Knowing that her best friend was strong and could fight just about anything. As the potion was made, the woman placed a few drops of the potion on the leg where the snake had bitten Lydia. Now that a few drops of the potion is on the leg, I rubbed it around the snake bite. Now all we can do is wait, the woman replied. So they all waited for a while. Thanks for helping us. We don't know your name, Haley said. I'm Nicole. I'm known as a healer and an herbalist, Nicole responded. You are? My mother was one. That is, until she passed away, Celeste said, saddened at the memory of her mother's death. I'm sorry about your mother. I lost my mother too. I lost her 2 years ago. She died from cancer at a certain age, Nicole replied. I lost my mother when I was a kid. I think of her every now and then, Celeste said. She had a disease. I got it too at one point, but I was brought back to life, so you could say I was resurrected. You're not a witch, not like Zach claims, Lydia said, catching everyone's attention. Lydia was finally recovered from the snake bite. Lydia, you're okay! I'm so glad you're okay! Celeste exclaimed in joy, hugging Lydia along with Haley and Zach. Celeste saved your life. She got Nicole to come down here to heal you, Haley said. I'm glad she did. Otherwise, I would have not been here, Lydia replied, hugging Celeste and Haley, both in a group hug. I'm sorry for saying you were a witch. I guess I was judging you before meeting you, Zach said to Nicole. I can accept your apology, Zach. What matters is that everyone is safe, healthy, and alive, Nicole replied, accepting Zach's apology. She could move into the village, be close to the school, Lydia suggested. That house is old and run down, and it looks like it could collapse at any moment. I was about to move out of that into the village anyway. Surprisingly enough, mainly because I'm tired of being alone. Plus the fact that I have 4 children to move in with. Ever since my husband died last year, I was always alone by myself, Nicole stated. I am so sorry about your husband, but if you move here, you could get a job here, Haley said a suggestion. I'll be happy to offer it, Nicole. Someone said you were a student here, and it was before me and my daughter came, Nathaniel said, showing an old photo to Nicole. I remember this school. It is where I met my husband. I didn't know why. I stated that before, but I will start working here when I move to the village, Nicole replied proudly. A week later, Nicole had moved closer to the school in the village, so that way she'll be able to have a job and at the school, but she isn't so isolated from everyone, and that she could be close to her 4 children in Dragonvale.